Joe, welcome to With Styles. I'm not gonna be long, but as usual, um, I'm scrolling on my timeline and I saw something about um Coach Leach and how he played rugby at BYU or something and changed the game of football, basically. And it got me thinking about this. Hold on, y'all. Gotta text my son something. Um, but I can multitask and text him back too. Um, so it there's a thin line as a guy who has played on all all levels of football. There is a thin line when you play the game. There are some advantages that you have, and I would think that most people would would agree with that. Um, so I'm not saying anything crazy. I will also say that you don't have to play the game to know the game. Um, so my my mom knows the game very well. Has never played a snap. Um, so she can talk anyone down about football. Um, my dad played the game, and my dad doesn't talk that much about football. He knows it, but my mom will in detail argue you about what happened because she knows the game. So there was a thing about Kenny Brooks saying something, a reporter saying that Ole Miss punked our girls on the boards. I don't like the question. There are other ways you can get that across because as coaches, we are very defensive of our players. But to play the game, you understand a how many driving styles are required before knowing football. John, I don't know. Infinite. Keep on watching. The more you watch, the more I will give you stars. Um, there are little things about the sport that if you didn't play in college or the NFL, it's hard to understand. And this is the difference from high school to college. And this is hard to learn as a player going through it, but you learn it if you're self-aware. In high school, the best players always play. Now, granted, I didn't play on a big school. I didn't play for a big school. The school I played on had under 300 students in the high school when I played there. So I didn't play on one of those big 5A, 6A, 7A, whatever A's that you guys have, where there's thousands of kids in the high school. There are 300 kids just in your class. I don't know that. I don't know that level. But the levels I know is the best player in high school always plays, regardless. What I mean, regardless, is regardless of his relationship with the coach. He could be a prick. He could be an asshole. That kid, if he's the obvious best running back, he's gonna play. He's gonna get the lion's share of carries, and we're just gonna we're just going to be able to work with that kid. When you get to college, the best athlete and player don't always play. He definitely doesn't always start. I'm gonna only talk about male sports. I'm sure the same thing with female sports in college. But I'm gonna tell you this: the best player, or let's say the best football player, because I didn't play any other sport in college, the best football player doesn't necessarily guarantees him a playing opportunity. There are many more things at play when you get on the next level. And that's something that, in my opinion, if you didn't play on that level, you don't understand and grasp. On a college and NFL level, I've seen it on both levels where if the coach doesn't trust you, you don't do all the little things right, you don't practice hard, you don't. Now, what I'm about to say is in the 1900s, because some of this, some people can come at me now with what happened last year on Kentucky team. Let's just say when I played, if you didn't attend your lifting session, if you didn't go to class, you didn't go to your PT required activities to help you recover to play for the next game, your ass might not play. Hear me with that. If you didn't practice hard, which is number one, if you didn't handle all the other little things outside of football field, if you miss meetings, your ass might not play that week. If we had breakfast check. If you didn't go to breakfast each morning, that was a problem. So as an athlete in college, just because you came in as a higher acclaimed player, um, when you see him on the field and practicing spring football, oh, this guy should start. There are other variables. Because here's the thing, or I want people to understand, is as a coach whom livelihood rests on the execution of my players, when everybody on this level in college and NFL are really good players. It's not like in high school you got a guy who's just on the team to be on the team, then you have your best players. The gap in high school, my screen is only so big, is this big. The gap in college, brings to here, the gap in NFL, there's no gap. There's really no gap between the practice squad players and the active roster players. So therefore, there are little things that can prevent you from having a chance to show your skill set. So even though the fans see you as the next coming, if you don't handle your responsibilities off the field, that's somebody who's just as good as you behind you who's just waiting for an opportunity. So as a fan, you can see things, you can say, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Well, that's in a vacuum. There are a lot of things that go on in a practice week that prevents a team from doing certain things. It also prevents a team from running what you want them to run. I know it's basketball season, like some fan, why don't we run zone? Well, maybe the guys on the team can't run zone. Maybe we practice zone and they run it like shit. So why would I throw a zone out there when our players can't even guard our damn practice squad players? There are reasons behind it. You just can't say, run this. Why don't we do this more? Why do we do that? Why don't because there are reasons for that. You might not have the players. You might have done a poor job recruiting players to run that. Maybe the players you recruited, you thought they could, and they come on campus and they're not as smart as you thought they were. Maybe you got players come on campus and they don't continue to hone their skills and improve their IQ and their playing ability. There are a lot of factors, and I'm gonna be quick with it. So, like I said, you can, as fans and critics, you can say a lot of things, but if you don't have the groceries, you can't cook a great meal. Imagine that running back into. So there are a lot of factors, and those factors are hard to digest as fans if you haven't been in the room. Because until I went to college, I would have thought the best player always played. That wasn't the case when I played. That wasn't the case when I went to NFL. It wasn't the case I see every day. There's a guy who's more athletic gifted, but cannot get on the field because he won't handle the things he are supposed to handle. And that goes back for me to high school and little league coaches allowing these kids to get away with shit that's going to eventually catch up with them. Some people don't catch up with them until they get to NFL. Some people, unfortunately, hit them in college, and they have NFL ability, but it's never seen because they think they can get away with the bullshit that they got away in high school and little league. Now they can't. And as we say on the locker Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and myself and Anthony White. Once your ass as an upperclassman get passed by a freshman. All right, y'all. That's my TED Talk for today. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day and look forward to seeing